Post that on Instagram. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the transfer show, the news show, breaking news show. As you can see, we've got Sam on the show with us. How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm all right, mate. It is getting warm again. It is very, very warm. So, yeah, suffering a bit.
Yeah, it's like bus engine heat, innit? It's fucking ninging. I'd literally just walk shop, then come back, and I feel sticky as fuck. It's horrible. We also have a very new addition to the Real Reds team, a lad I went to school with. Very lovely man. Also, of course, a Manchester United fan. Aaron, how you doing?
Could have been better after the weekend, but we have to keep moving.
Exactly. And we've got Mr. Singh live from Bangkok as well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, doing very, very well. Once again, a new background for you, Nick.
Thank you.
Keeping up with the team. Yeah, how are you doing, Nick?
The only one who asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing fantastic. A little bit hot, as I said, but
he's the only one who gives a shit. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, appreciate that. Now, past few weeks, there's been a few rumours surrounding Manchester United. Not a lot of activity in terms of, obviously, apart from the past few days, in terms of like actual negotiating or putting bids in. But the past 24, 48 hours have just been like a bit of a madness, and the floodgates have like completely opened, probably with the wrong players and probably for the wrong reasons. But we're going to touch on that. We're going to be discussing Rabiot, Milinkovic-Savic, Marko, Arnautovic, Cody Gakpo, and a surprise move for Alvaro Morata potentially, and much more. So make sure you get your comments in as we go through the articles, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shreyas has just got it up to 347 by mothering someone in a Bangkok lobby, so I appreciate that. So we're 3 of 350 subs, so if you could push us up to that whilst we're live, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I think we're ready to get into it. So let's start off with something positive. Let's go with the Laurie Whitwell thing. So Laurie Whitwell reported today, and Sam, will come to you on this first. Manchester United pull out of Marko and Arnautovic pursuit. Everybody pop the champagne and the poppers and shit and celebrate. Bologna pricing player out of low-cost bracket, and complaints from fans they're seen as the contributing factors, basically. Sam, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad of a choice was that even going in for him? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how happier that the deal's collapsed?
I mean, it's not quite bringing a certain striker back from his current hiatus, but it's not far away, is it? Like a man who's well known for being a racist and a bit of a wheeler-dealer scumbag in dressing rooms.
Wheeler-dealer scumbag.
Yeah. Apparently he's got like the ego of Cristiano Ronaldo, but nothing to back it up with.
But the ability of Andy Carroll.
Yeah, West Ham have said it. Stoke have said it. There's probably going to be stories out of Bologna as well at some point, I'm sure. Didn't want him. I don't think any United fan on the planet wanted him. I didn't see why in any way he'd be an upgrade on, say, playing Charlie McNeil or anybody in the forward position, bar like David De Gea or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So nobody wanted him. Nobody thought this was a good idea. The only people who thought this was a good idea was the Glazers. I don't believe this was Erik ten Hag's decision to go for him. I really don't. I think they're attaching his name to it to give it more credibility. I don't think it was his decision at all. I think he's asked for certain strikers and certain players and he's not got them. And now they've gone, oh, what about this guy? He's available for cheap and he scored this many goals, and it's completely and utter shite. But so glad that it's not happening. I'm glad the fans voiced their opinions and got something done. And I'm glad that we're moving on to somebody else, because this was a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like they put one foot in and then saw the reaction. It's like they opened the door slightly and just heard everyone going, fuck off, we don't want him, Like, okay, and then we'll just shut that door and we'll go for someone else. Like, bit of a madness with Arnautovic. Aaron, just give us your first initial thoughts when you heard about when you saw, I don't know where you was or where you was sat, what you was doing, when you seen the notification, Marko Arnautovic, we put like a €9 million bid in for him. You must have just put your head in your hands and thought, fuck me, man, we can't get much lower than this.
You know what, though? It didn't even shock me. Like, when I seen it, I thought... I was expecting it, because it's like... We're in that situation now where it's going to be panic buy. Like, there's been nothing except Frankie de Jong, and I don't even think that's going to happen now. But it's like... It's just... Obviously, I know we'll touch on de Jong later, but it's just like... I don't know how you can be excited for a transfer anymore. Like...
Yeah, they notoriously take the fun out of him, don't they? Especially like the length... The De Jong thing especially, which again we're going to touch on later, they absolutely take the excitement out of every single deal.
But I think like the Arnautovic signing, do you know what? If he was in a position where it's like Liverpool with Origi and we had depth and you knew he was going to be the last option, then I don't even think there would have been so much fuss. But it's like... When you're signing him and you know he's one injury away from starting maybe a good run of games, depending on how bad the injury is, it ain't good enough.
Yeah.
But we've been in the same situation for years, so it's like...
I had a look at his record for Bologna. It's not too bad. I think it's got something like 14 goals. Yeah, 14 goals in 34 games. And as you just said then, you made a great point that, you know, if we had a decent strike, I know we've got Ronaldo, but if we had, you know, a good few attackers, like world-class attackers like City have, and you bring him in as a little bit of a backup, no one would bat an eyelid. They'd be like, right, okay, no, it is what it is. But, you know, a lot of people are kind of they don't know what's going on with Cristiano. If he leaves, you just know Arnautovic is going to become like our main number 9 or something for the rest of the season.
Because Martial's not dependable still for me. Like people were hyping on pre-season about he's back and all this. We'll see it Christmas. We'll see it what he's doing then. Like
Yeah,
I'm still not sold on it.
Stinks of
You're a little bit
Agallo, done it.
apprehensive.
Stinks of Agallo, stinks of Cavani, stinks of every other emergency. Falcao, stinks of every emergency striker we've ever gone for. And have any of them worked? Nope. Are any of them still at the club? Nope. What? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
He's 33 years old. He'd probably get a 3-year contract, 4-year contract. Bit of a buff on his wages. Are you telling me I didn't want Arnautovic when he was at West Ham, like 26, 27? No. I don't want him now when he's 33. He's been in China for 3-4 years. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. Shreyas, now we've kind of put this deal aside. The question is, who is next on the conveyor belt? Or a better question, who would you bring in for that kind of backup striker, or would you just go get a first-team striker now who would start every game?
I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, there aren't really any options left if you have to, actually look out for a first-team striker. Like, everybody is gone. And the ones that might be left, they're going to buff up the transfer fee for no reason because they know that United are desperate right now for an attacker. And if we do, end up signing another player just out of desperation, even though he's good or even if it fits the plan of Erik ten Hag, I would say that it would not be fair to the player because he hasn't had a preseason. He pretty much has missed out on the opening of the season as well. So he's coming out into a squad which is, I would say, a big mess right now because we don't have the depth. We don't even have the stability in the team right now to actually, accommodate our new signings in. It is already looking like, the players that we've just bought in, even to put them into the first squad, it's taking a lot of time. Like, we've still got those big figures in the squad like Harry Maguire, like McTominay and Fred that are, still accumulating those important spots in our starting 11. And our new signings are still, they're still working their way up to actually, make a case for themselves to be a starter. So in that way, I wouldn't really go in for a first-class striker because initially I would say we would end up paying for like about 60 to 65 million for him. And even when we pay like 60 to 65 million for him, I don't really see, bringing someone who was already part of the plan this far into the transfer window. So I would rather go in for a backup striker and, save the money, at least invest it in some other player during the January transfer window, or probably save it for next season because then maybe something happens, some new player pops up into the transfer list, something, maybe you never know. You can't predict football. You can't predict the transfer market. It's so inflated and it's so unpredictable, and you never know how players' contracts works as well. So
Shreyas, who is the though? There is no backup strikers available. There is nobody. That's the point. Like, who do you get? Like, there is nobody. Like, the one guy who's around that was touted is Belotti, isn't it? That's the one guy who's out of contract. And
but he's not young. He's 27.
No, but like that's the only guy you could go for realistically.
And he's pretty much in the racing for Roma as well right now. So even getting him isn't really much of an option left right now for us.
It's an outstanding candidate right now that you'd look at and you'd be like, yeah, I'll bring him in for United. Like a young player. I can't remember the last time we brought in like a young decent striker.
Martial.
Who had like a lot. Martial was a winger, wasn't he, at Monaco?
I know, but that was the last sort of bright forward we brought in who could play at the striker position, wasn't it? So
like if he was actually organised, you'd look at what Man City did when he got Julian Alvarez. In January, I think they loaned him back to River Plate, didn't they?
He was offered to us. He was offered to United.
Yeah.
We turned him down. So
for 15 million, just 15
like,
million.
we're fucking idiots.
15 million.
We're stupid.
Yeah, but it emphasises how shit we are when it comes to transfer market. We are absolutely terrible. Sticking with how terrible we are in the transfer market is another kind of story here. This is from a little bit of Sky and Fabrizio. Two separate pieces. So Erik ten Hag is very keen on Adrien Rabiot. There is a full alignment between the manager and the recruitment department over Rabiot signing. So they're kind of saying both Ten Hag and the club want him. Funny, because I haven't heard anything about scouting Rabiot before the past 2 days. I don't know about you lot. Another bit from Romano was Manchester United and Juventus are ready to complete the Adrien Rabiot deal after the agreement was reached on Monday, but personal terms are still in discussion. Talks are ongoing between, I think it's Veronica Rabiot and United. So Sam, Mumsy's in town apparently, Rabiot's mum. Apparently, Rabiot's agent, that's what I've heard. And she only wants to speak to John Murtaugh. She's putting a stamp of authority in this. Regarding this, I don't think there's any intermediaries involved in all. It's just straight up John Murtaugh against his mum. Do you see this deal being done soon, given, because I've heard that his mum's apparently quite a tough negotiator. She's spoken to quite a few clubs previously and she's not got what she wanted for her son, so she's just like, no, we're staying here. Do you see this deal being done like
that? Just before I get to that, there's quite a lot of people in the comments, so I'm just going to read out a couple and then I'll answer that.
Yeah, go. So
Ashley Dallo's in the chat. Shout out to Ashley Dallo, always nice to see you, mate. Adrien Rabiot to Man United, true, precise news. Yeah, we're getting onto that now. Arnautovic deal is off. Rabiot deal depends on convincing his mother. Yeah, we're just about to talk about that. We'll end up signing Tony Adams, Brazilian Ronaldo, Amara and Fellaini if we become a joke. Tom and Jerry, same comic but always rival, the same way we have McTominay and Fred. Same team, never on the same tune. McTominay is horrible. So yeah, not a lot of love for McTominay in the comments. Yeah, this is the woman who had a go at Mbappe's dad or something when he missed the penalty when he played for PSG. So it's not a woman, I imagine, who's going to sort of take anything lightly. Like, imagine if Rabiot comes to United and then McTominay starts over him. She's going to kick off, isn't she? She's going to be absolutely livid with that. So this just stinks of Paul Pogba drama without any of the ability of Paul Pogba. It's not going to be worth. The juice ain't worth the squeeze is the phrase I think I use. It's not worth the trouble.
Like
I don't want him. I don't want him at United. I think it's a mistake to bring him in because it's just going to be so much drama and so much shit. I'm not a fan of this, and his mother's going to be a problem if any past history is to go by. Lewis Jackson, missed my comments. I didn't miss your comment, mate. For God's sake, people are getting arguing in the comments. Adam, his mum's a tough bird. Met her last night, and I'm not the same man. Complaining about my performance though. Adam, always nice to bring down in the comments. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, we get the insights. We get the insights from Adam. Love it. Aaron, I know we spoke briefly about the midfield option. You have very similar thoughts to us in terms of the options we currently have. Are there any other midfielders you would go and get instead of Rabiot who would be available? I know you mentioned Paredes, didn't you, at PSG, that you're a fan of?
Yeah, that's one I'd definitely go get. I'd even take Milinkovic-Savic over Rabiot, definitely.
Yeah. But that means more money, wouldn't it? It's the Glazers, you know what I mean?
That's it. But for me, I said to you yesterday, innit, I'd just forget Jong now, and then I'd just go and I'd get maybe Milinkovic-Savic, and even it's going to get to the point where we're going to need a defensive midfielder that can't play forward, that's just going to sit, and we're going to have someone next to him that's going to have to play the ball.
Sam has been crying out for that for about 6 months, like a specialist, like an Ndidi, for example, who will just sit, protect.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to have.
Or maybe
we're going
like
to have someone next to him.
Shreyas, I'm going to kick you from this chat. I swear to Christ. Do not start.
I didn't hear what he said.
Who do you think he said? Who do you think he said?
Oh, Kamara. You say Kamara went Villa. Yeah. Well, I saw a thing before, Aaron. We could have gone and got Konrad Laimer from Leipzig, and
he's still available.
Yeah, and thingy I was going to mention as well, Kamara on a free. So we could have had them both for 20 million, and it would have made a massive, significant difference.
Anyone would make a difference. It's just we cannot. Do you know what? The fact that we've even started the first game of the season, I don't care who we bring in now. The fact that we started the season with McTominay and Fred holding, it's just it's a disgrace.
Third season in a row we've started with McFred. It's fucking ridiculous.
I'm saying, innit? Last season, we was like, I can't believe we're starting the season. We've not bought a midfielder. What the fuck's going on? I know we bought Donny, but let's be honest. Ollie didn't want Donny, so it was one of them. And we're still sat here now. Like, how can all the fan base see it? How can everyone outside of Manchester United see it? Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, laughing at us, trolling us, saying you've still not bought a midfielder. What's going on?
Nick,
and then this is the answer, apparently.
Nick,
honestly,
sorry,
I would actually have Fellaini over McTominay. Honestly, I would.
Fellaini, would you bring him back for a reunion?
If you gave me two players there, Fellaini and McTominay, I'd pick Fellaini because at least he actually get. I don't know what McTominay does.
He's got some sort of quality, hasn't he, Fellaini? I mean, at least he can bring it down. He's got good header. He's physical.
He's a shit
in the box when we lose it.
He's a shit house as well, Fellaini. Like he'll give it for you. So.
Yeah.
Nick, you owe everybody a shot of whiskey because we're on 351 subscribers.
Oh, fucking hell. Right, 1 second. Give me a minute. Yeah, whilst I'm getting that shot of whiskey, Shreyas, why do you think Ten Hag is... Well, if you to believe reports, why is Ten Hag really after this player? What do you think he sees in him? Because you speak to anyone about Rabiot, there's a few concerns from Italian experts, from, players that have played with him, coaches, etc. So, talk to me about that.
I think with Rabiot, the case is right now, I would say there aren't really any options left. There isn't much time left to actually, go in for someone completely different. Because if we actually, turn our faces around for a completely different midfielder who we know nothing about, I would say we haven't really, I would say except Neves or Tielemans, we haven't even, I would say, gone into any other players' contracts or even their clubs till now. So going in for a completely different player right now would take a lot of time, considering how slow we are with our transfers as well. And except that, I would also say I think with Rabiot the case is it could also be because maybe Ten Hag thinks he at least needs something in that midfield. I mean, something is better than nothing right now. And right now, if Rabiot is the only option that is available for him, I mean, it could be a situation where the club is saying either you take Rabiot or you're pretty much left with McFred and Donny for the whole season. So he might be thinking that I can't really, function with McFred for the whole season. At least get in Rabiot. At least he is better than McTominay. Maybe he can at least offer us the bare minimum that we expect from a midfielder. And
he can pass.
But he can pass the ball around. That's the only thing he can do. So that's one plus point. But except that, I think it's not a good deal financially because he's going to take tons of wages. He's already taking tons of wages at Juventus. They want to offload him pretty much. So I don't think it's going to be a good signing if I see it financially or as a long-term signing. Because I think even if Rabiot comes, we'll still be in a hunt for a midfielder next season. There's no way that we're going to be stopping our search for with Rabiot itself in our squad. Because if Rabiot is, I would even say, even if Rabiot is there as a centre mid, because he's definitely not a CDM, so we're still left with McTominay or Fred playing in that role, and it doesn't really solve the problem that we are having right now. In the game against Brighton, Fred played as a CDM. And he was horrible. Except that McTominay plays as box to box, and he was still horrible. So I think right now, for us, the problem isn't really that much of a box to box. I think we still got Fred, we still got Donny. I would even say we've still got Eriksen. He can actually, play much better in that role as well. But till the time we don't fix that number 6 position in our squad, I don't think even if we, still end up bringing someone like a Frenkie de Jong, we need someone to hold down the fort for the back four, because we've seen how exploited Lisandro and Maguire were in the Brighton game itself, and it all came down because there wasn't a CDM defensive stability in there, and the two guys who were there can't really do the job. So bringing in Rabiot, I don't think it really eliminates the problems that we have. I would just say it could be a bit of a smokescreen because he can make, I would say, better progressive passes than McTominay. He can't do, I think, right now, any midfielder in Europe cannot do any worse than McTominay in that midfield. That's the thing.
I completely agree with that. What's that thing that comic says, Sam, in Australia, where he says you can't write swan on a pig and push it out on a lake?
Oh yeah, you've got, say you see like massive fat girls with those juicy tracksuits like across the arse.
Yeah.
He says it's the equivalent of writing swan on the side of a pig and pushing it out across the lake.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like you're bringing Rabiot in. It looks like a fancy signing, but in reality, I was listening to a woman from Italy who's watched Rabiot all of his career, and she said that he's a guy who could maybe complement a midfield that's already structured, but throwing him in with the likes of like McTominay and Fred, she thinks would be absolutely disastrous. Oh, we've got a wanderer. I don't know who that was, but welcome to the show, whatever your name was. Shreyas absolutely.
That's United's new midfielder coming in there.
Yeah. Breaking news. 350 subs. The Whiskey's here. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. On to 400. As soon as we hit 400 mark, there'll be another shot for you.
Yeah. At this rate, we're going to be alcoholics. The way it's going. Couple of comments while Nick recovers from that. 3 seasons with Mick Fred is like 3 seasons of Phil Mitchell and EastEnders. We're all alcoholics now. Yeah, pretty much. That wrote Nick that one.
Fucking hell, there's back that everywhere.
That's from Adam, so you can blame him. Ashley Dallow, Man United team's got big battle throughout. We're going to be a reconstruction year where the players will be best, but it's all the reverse. Maguire, McTominay, Rashford battling for worst player award. I think McTominay's winning that so far.
That performance on Sunday.
Yeah, we've been flirting with a Ferrari car
There's
for about
levels for being bad there.
Yeah, for about 3 or 4 months now. We're ended up with a broken second-hand bicycle. Yeah, we've had so many boxes. You play box to box. I'm really boxed about these boxes. It's fucking done. We've got a visitor. Adam's shouting out the random intruder behind Shireyas. Shireyas, get him subscribed. Yeah, Shireyas, go find him, get him subscribed, sort it out.
Yeah.
He's in the elevator right now.
I was in the elevator. And then
Follow him. Go follow him.
Yeah, follow. Ashley Dallow, don't let yourself get boxed by a box team because this season will be boxed by many non-boxing teams. I love our comments. It's so good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Box to box, aren't they? Much like that, Whiskey had a bit of a kick. Bulls kick. Bulls are from Spain. Notoriously,
this is the weakest. This is the weakest link in the world. That's absolutely worst.
But we got Spanish. Alvaro Morata, Rob Dawson of ESPN before has reported that offered the chance. United have been offered the chance to sign Morata. What do we think about this, Sam? Because it feels like the striker circus on the conveyor belt's just going round. It's just like we've sent a text out to every agent in world football and just says, have you got an average striker who wants to get paid loads, doesn't score that many goals, and he wants to join a big club in United? That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
He's an absolute genius, Alvaro Morata's agent, isn't he? Because he's been at every big club and done fuck all at every single club he's been to. Did fuck all at Chelsea. Did fuck all at Atletico Madrid. Did fuck all at Juventus. Where else has he been? Has he been at Real Madrid as well?
Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid. Yeah. Did fuck all there. His agent's a mastermind. I want him as in charge of my career, that guy, because, my God. Didn't we get offer him before we got Lukaku? He wanted Morata or Lukaku.
We've probably been offered him at some point.
So I believe it was between Morata and Lukaku at one point, and we chose Lukaku, and obviously that didn't work out. But I don't think Morata's the option either. I think a below average striker, clearly not wanted by Atletico because he went on loan to Juventus. Juventus didn't want him because he came back. So yeah, I don't understand this. I think we could do a lot worse than look to the youth system and play somebody. If we're that bad and that desperate for somebody, just play someone for the youth. Fuck it. Or if we're out of contention with Frankie De Jong and we've got some extra money, why don't we chuck some more money at it and get somebody of quality who's young and chuck some more money at it? It's just, it's such a stupid decision. Honestly, it's such a stupid decision. Surely there's other strikers out there who will cost either less or more or are better than Morata. That has to be, because this is just lazy. This is not even Football Manager like scouting, is it? This is just, what's a name I could think of off the top of my head who might be available? Alvaro Morata. Yeah. There we go. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
It's not like some shitty outlet reporting. Rob Dawson, ESPN, has actually like
it's
decent
legit. It's legit. So
it could be legit. Aaron, Morata's got 9 goals and 7 assists in 35 games for Juventus last season. That's a worse goal scoring record than Arnautovic, who we were just talking about. What are your thoughts on him as a player? Would you bring him in at United as a secondary striker? And who would you go get personally right now, if you could?
Well, I wouldn't say Morata. Definitely not. He's seen at Chelsea, just wasn't cut out for the Prem.
Yeah.
He doesn't score a lot of goals wherever. I think the best that I remember him having a return was when he was first at Juventus. Remember when they got to the Champions League final and that?
Yeah.
I think he actually had a good season then. But no, I just think we sign him and we'll be looking for a striker again next year. It's just pointless. That stinks of like a Falcao signing or one that hasn't worked out.
I was so excited. I was so excited when Falcao was coming. I was so excited. And it just got absolutely destroyed in front of me. It was horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
In terms of who I'd go and get, It's hard because there's no one out there. I mean,
It's
if we was
shit
going to go,
market in it for
Yeah.
strikers. It's so
do you know
shit.
what? If we was just going to bring in anyone, it's like Dybala went as a free agent. I mean, I'd take Dybala
Yeah.
over Morata any day of the week.
Yeah,
We're so slow in the market. It's like, I honestly think as well, and his name don't get mentioned, I'd take Sammy Abraham at United. I honestly would.
I'd take him all day.
Ooh.
I'd take him. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
A lot of people, I think he's very underrated, and I think after this season at Roma next summer, I think there'll be a lot of clubs after him. I honestly do.
How much did Roma pay for him though? Because it was quite a hefty price tag.
No, it was only about 40 million, wasn't it? 45?
Yeah, 30
Oh,
to 40 million.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
About 50
Yeah.
mil.
Yeah, no, he didn't cost that
No.
much at all.
I know.
Yeah,
Because he had a buyback clause as well in his contract. That's
Yeah,
why.
Chelsea have got a buyback clause.
Oh, right.
But whether they do or not, I think Chelsea will be hesitant because obviously we'll watch what's happened with Lukaku. I don't know if they'll want to do that twice, but so I'm just waiting to see how long we're going to be linked with Memphis Depay, who's going to be leaving as
Oh,
a free
fucking
agent.
hell.
That'll be
Listen,
the
anything,
next one.
anything at this point is possible. Even Young.
Isn't
could possibly happen.
it Martin Braithwaite leaving Barcelona as well? There you go. That's a fucking
Get to
article.
fuck- I don't even keep winding me up. Get to fuck-
That's gonna be. I
Keep
get.
him-
He is.
Put me a bet. Put a bet on right now. That's gonna be an article in the next week. I guarantee it's happening.
Yeah.
Because that is
Yeah, it will be.
easy journalism. That one.
Oh god, that's the worst of the lot. That's worse than Arnautovic and Morata. That is terrible. Shreyas, I don't want to speak about Morata for very long, so just if you can give us a brief synopsis of Morata or your thoughts on Morata, should I say?
I'll keep it brief. No.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, we've got another article here. I love it. Appreciate the respect.
I've never heard Shreyas do such a short answer in my entire life. It's fucking genius. Oh god.
Take it. This is from the Telegraph. So Telegraph again have decent connections, so you can believe this slightly if you want to. Erik ten Hag is believed to be interested in signing Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and rates the Serbian highly. Do you think the question I want to throw to you is, or Sam, I'll go to you again on this first. Do you think this is an alternative De Jong, or do you think it's as well as De Jong?
There's a couple of shots. That whiskey on the brain now. Couple of chats that I was trying to get to. Adam, Lukaku or Morata would like choosing. Would have preferred my left or right nut being removed. Adam, love it. Is it true that Rabiot signed for Man United? I think it's pretty much done, mate. Yeah, I think it's almost there. Adam, I think more of what we need is a left wing option. Rashford have been wank. There's a guy called Barca Forever. Hello, you talk about my club. Yeah, your club's a fucking joke. My girlfriend's in the chat. She's not going to do a sideways walk before you ask. No, she's not.
Yeah.
Famous clip. Yeah, is he an alternative to De Jong? I think in terms of being bought, yes. He's not the same player though, is he? Like if he comes in, we're going to have to play differently because I don't think he's going to do the job that De Jong does where he sits back and he'll take the ball off the defence and then distribute and stuff.
Yeah.
He's not that kind of player. He's more, I know I hate to say it, we've said it all day today, but box to box, isn't he? He's a more advanced type of midfielder.
That's the key word today, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll put that in the tags.
Yeah,
he's more of that advanced type of midfielder than a DM / sitting back sort of midfielder. So, is he a good player? Yes. Is he better than what we've got? Sure. Is he the right type of player that we need? I don't think so. I'll take him if it's him and a defensive midfielder. I'll take that. I'll be happy with that. But if it's just him coming in as an alternative to De Jong and nobody else, I'm a bit worried because we're still in need of that holding midfielder, still in need of that defensive-minded / able to take the ball off the defence type midfielder, and we still don't have that, and that's what we're in desperate need of. So if we can go out and get somebody else with him, I'm mega happy with that. But if it's just him coming in, I'm left slightly worried. 45 people in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate the support. Keep the comments and questions coming. It's very grateful for it all.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about Savic as well, because I'm interested to get people's opinions on that. For me, when I've watched him, he's more of a person who likes to get forward. As we said, box to box 10. He's really good at going forward. I think he's got 11 goals, 11 assists in Serie A last season, which is, decent numbers, double figures on both. Is he worth 50 million, Aaron, do you think?
Yeah. I don't have a problem with signing him, to be honest, but like we've just said, he can't be the only one. He has to be more. He's better than what we've got, like a better box-to-box player than what we've already got. But he can't be the defensive mid. Not a chance.
Can you imagine a world of a midfield, let's say, I don't know, Jong, Savic, Eriksen?
Very good midfield, I think.
Yeah, compliment.
Nick, you're holding on to this so much, aren't you? You're still like, that Jong's coming.
Yeah.
Let it go, mate. Let it go. Let it go.
It's happening.
It's fucking...
Listen, I will happily, when the transfer window closes and we don't get him, I will happily hold my hands up and be like, I got it wrong. But I'm telling you now, the Jong to Manchester United is happening. Clip it up, do whatever the fuck you want with it. It's happening.
I can't wait for my bottle of whiskey. I cannot wait for it.
We'll see, won't we? Shreyas, do you think maybe it'd be a bit of a replacement for Paul Pogba if you bring it? Because obviously you think about players that have gone out and players that we've lost. Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, who played in midfield at times, although wasn't the best. And am I missing anyone else who we've lost out? Juan Mata, yeah, you can throw him in the mix as well. Do you think Savic would be a replacement for someone like Pogba?
Yeah, because I think it's pretty evident after the last game that we don't just need a CDM, we need a box-to-box midfielder as well. Because right now, I haven't really seen consistently much from any player that has played in that position as well. And I mean, I think at this point we do need two pivots and not just two midfielders. I would say we need one for backup as well, because I don't really rate the midfield we have right now to actually step in and actually maintain the quality for the entire 90 that we've certainly seen in the preseason as well as in the first game as well, as our players fade in the second half. So I think Milinkovic-Savic is a good option if he is being picked as a box-to-box midfielder. If he is being picked as a CDM, then it's not a good signing, and definitely we shouldn't be going in for him, because we've seen what happens when we go for talented players who they play really, really well in their designated spots. But like Juan Mata, when we got him, he was, I would say, arguably one of the best number 10s in Europe, but we didn't play him in the position that we should ideally play him in. We lost out on his best years, and then we pretty much regretted signing and losing out on such a great talent, I would say. And if we do that with Milinkovic-Savic as well, it will be the same story all over again. And this new regime that has come in, which is scouting and getting these players in, there's not going to be any change that what used to happen a few years ago as well. So I get it. I get the idea behind Milinkovic-Savic as well, because the Frenkie de Jong deal is still, I would say, a big question mark for us. But I think the game plan should be pretty much sorted behind it, because I think if Ten Hag really does want him, and if he has set his mind that he does want him, I would still go for him, because I still think that the manager's say still has a lot of, I would say, power in it, and just back the manager if he actually believes in the guy. But if it is somewhat of a Glazer-induced signing wherein they want just someone to actually get into that midfield and just, pretty much be a bit of an upgrade to McFred, I don't want him. If it is one of those players who's going to come in and actually, play in that box-to-box position and is a part of Ten Hag's game plan as well, get him in. Because if it is going to cost us just 50 million for someone like Milinkovic-Savic, who's been consistent in the Serie A for, I would say, a lot, many years now. Yeah. So I think 50 million is going to be a steal of a deal if he is in that sort of a plan.
Yeah, I feel like we've been linked with him for about 10 years, but he's only 27, so he's literally just coming into his prime.
Louis van Gaal? He was the first one, wasn't he?
Yeah. I thought it was Mourinho won it. Mourinho's first year.
I thought it was Van Gaal.
It could have been.
Yeah, even I thought it was Van Gaal.
Yeah, but he looks like a good player. Again, the consistency is the main point to stay on, because that's what we need in our team. We lack consistency in a lot of areas. Savic could bring that.
He's not injury prone either. Like, he's good injury record as well, which is good. Like, you don't I'm so sick of United signing players who are just fucking injured all the time. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. But the way I'm looking at it, right, you've got Rabiot there. He just put a bid in straight away like that. Boom. Almost like they've not even thought about it. Yeah, and then you've got Savic for 50 million there, extra 30 mil, who's a far better player. They both play centre mid. Rabiot doesn't even really know his position. No one can really put just one thing on him, or he's a box-to-box, or he's a deep-lying midfield, but no one really knows. He just kind of does a bit of both. He's a bit average. So I don't get why just fuck Rabiot off for 20 mil. Just go get. Obviously, it's because they're trying to save money in it. Let's be honest. But just go get Savic. A good club would just go get him instead of Rabiot and have him as an option.
It just shows the incompetence of this club. Like, for years and years, we've been talking about we need a defensive midfielder, we need a holding midfielder, we need this. And then we didn't do it during the summer. Didn't even bother looking at anybody bar Jong, who's arguably not that player, but he's definitely something we need. Not looked at anybody for years and years. And now the Glazers are panicking because they've realised how shit this team is. We've lost on the opening day for the first time in God knows how long. Putting a shitty display, same players that were here last season. And they're like, oh, we need midfielders. And they've not even thought about the type of midfielder we need. They've gone, just fucking get a midfielder. They've gone Rabiot and Savic, who Rabiot, don't rate him that much, but cheap. And then Savic, who good player, a little more expensive, but again, not what we need. Why? I don't understand. Like, we need midfielders that we actually need. We need defensive midfielders, so why aren't we going out and looking for them? Why aren't we bidding for one? I don't get it. It's madness to me that we're not looking at a DM at all.
You made the point then about, it's the same team as last season, but I was speaking to someone the other day and I actually thought about it and think, since like Mourinho days, every transfer window, every new manager is going to be, it's a rebuild, but you look at them core players, the same core players, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Bailly, you look through the whole team and they're the same players that let us down every season. Nothing is going to change with this team. Nothing. No. We need more than 5 players coming in or whatever. We need a lot more.
Well, famous Klipnik, the Ragnick, we need 10 players. Yeah. And it's it is true. Yeah. It is true. We need 10 players.
Yeah. And you got absolutely slaughtered for that comment as well when you said that. But it's so true. I said on yeah, 100%. I said on Sunday, Man City, when they was playing West Ham, on the bench, they had John Stones, Kelvin Phillips, Riyad Mahrez, Julian Alvarez, Bernardo Silva. Every single one of them would get into our squad. Every single one of them. And that's on their bench. So, forget signing 10 players. We probably need about fucking 15 players because a lot of the centre-backs I'd sell. I'd even go as harsh to say I'd sell Varane just because of his injury worries. Because you can't get a consistent play out of him. I love him as a centre-back. He's a top-quality centre-back. Probably the best one at the club. But you can't get more than 3 weeks out of him when it comes to a run of games. You just can't, and you can't have that when you're going into a massive season. You're playing 60 games in a row. You win, 3 cup competitions or whatever. You've got a World Cup in December. Like, you need efficiency and you need consistency at the highest level, world class level. Van Dijk got injured massively for Liverpool in that season when we finished second. But apart from that, when he's fit for a full season and you've got Matip fit for a full season, defensively they're absolutely outstanding. We've got different centre-back partnerships every single game. Last season, it's Maguire and Bailly, it's Lindelof and Maguire. You've got Varane and Lindelof. Like, you never know. There's no consistency at all in the selection, so you can never develop that partnership. It goes back to having that consistency.
I said to you, name me one position. I think we only could name one position where we don't need a player, and it's number 10, arguably. Got Bruno and Eriksen. Every other position, we need somebody. Yep. Goalkeeper, not good enough. Great shot stopper, but distribution is shockingly bad still. And we've had him for how many years? Not great. Can't command his area. Right back, Dallo, questionable. Wan-Bissaka, out the door. Centre-back partnership, you just touched on. What are we doing? God knows. Left back, Tellez, out the door. Not good enough. Shaw, question mark. Still, he's been here 8 years. At this point, do we need to just get rid?
Get rid of him.
Malacia, brand new. Got to give him opportunity. Let's see what happens. But again, he's not a world-class left back. We don't know how good he's going to be yet. Midfield, we've just been through it. Jesus Christ. Terrible. Yeah. Right wing, we've got Jadon Sancho, and that's it, really. That's it. Like, Ahmad. Yeah, oh. I'm sorry. I forgot your boy. Left wing, Marcus Rashford. Awful season last season. Arguably the worst player on the team last season. Was fucking dog shite every single game. His backups, Anthony Martial? Would you say? Elanga, I don't rate Elanga. I don't think he's good enough. Really don't think he's good enough. And then striker, Martial and Ronaldo. One guy who was almost out the door because of his long spell at Sevilla. Was almost out the door anyway. And then Ronaldo who wants to leave. It's like, no one's good enough. Not one is good enough.
It's like, if you go to a City fan or a Liverpool fan, and ask them out there starting 11 what players they would fight to keep hold of, you're talking more than half the squad. I wouldn't fight to keep any of them at all. So like, I don't know. They're just half of them have been here this amount of years, and they always say like Marshall, Luke Shaw. Oh yeah, this will be the season that they kick on.
Yeah.
You can't keep.
It's 8 years.
That.
Shaw's been here for 8 years.
Yeah.
When's he kicking on?
He's had one good season.
He had half a season. A good half season. 6 months. 6 months in the Euros, and then he fucking went back to Deliveroo, didn't he? And now he's doing God knows what he's doing on the left. I can't believe he started. I can't believe he started at the weekend. I have no idea why he fucking started. I really don't.
I knew he would start. Because
Fucking
he's trying to play
unbelievable.
that first game in the Prem. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know who to throw in here.
Unbelievable.
But I think very quickly, I think if Brentford, like I said, if they don't make some big changes in that game, if Ten Hag don't make some big changes, especially Scott McTominay for Donny van der Beek or Malacia for sure, I'll be extremely surprised. I think there's going to be some big changes. I want to go on to the last story of the show, and it's about Cody Gakpo. See how I did that? This is This is from Rob Dawson again at ESPN, and he said Manchester United have turned their attention to Cody Gakpo. They've registered interest, and Gakpo's representatives have been altered to it by United's recruitment staff. PSV want 35 million. He's also said Gakpo would be keen to move to United if terms are agreed. Now, I remember doing a scout report on Gakpo, 23 years old, come through the PSV academy, developed into the regular for him, become like, I think he's actually captain when Van Ginkel isn't playing, so shows how much faith they've got in him. He had 25 goal involvements in 27 games, can play multiple positions, 6'2", electric. However, the only slight thing on with him is like his physicality isn't the best. And when he played against Leicester, I think it was in the Europa Conference League, Ricardo Pereira and James Justin was just clearing him out every time he tried going past. So physicality does look like a slight issue. But Sam, do you think this is an alternative because we can't go and get Antony? We've been priced out of a move for Antony, haven't we?
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought we did a 1-to-1 or something on him. I know we were talking about him a while back. I think, it's good that we're looking at options. But again, where was this a few weeks ago? Like, we've been in for Antony since, May? And then Ajax were dicking about with the price. It came down, it went up, it came down, it went up. Like, just why were we not looking at this kid like a couple of weeks ago and like putting the steps into place, like going, right, if Antony deal don't work out, we'll set this up so it's ready, keep it warm, and if Antony deal don't work, we'll just jump on this and it's sorted. I don't. Why we're not?
Have you seen the memes, Sam, when they're at the office, US?
Yeah.
And he's just like panicking, and he comes out of the office and he's just going fucking mad. That's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Like, it's just we could do business so much better if we had option 1, option 2, option 3. Go for option 1 and then have your intermediaries talk to option 2 and 3 going, we're really interested in you, we think you could develop, blah, 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 and just keep that going, keep the dialogue going. Option 1 fails, cool, go to option 2. Why are we not set up like that? Why are we not going for these options? It's unbelievable that we don't have this set up. It's like with De Jong, we're set up, it's De Jong and nothing. It was like Antony's the only forward we're interested in. Antony or nothing. Timber or nothing. And then eventually we got our shit together and went for Alessandro Martinez. The only reason we got Eriksen because he was on a free and Tottenham decided not to fucking call him back or whatever. That's the only reason we got him. So it's just pure shitty decision making from the board yet again. And if we can get him for a decent price, great. We need options and I think he's a decent player, but I don't see us pulling it off without us paying an absolute fortune for him.
Yeah, I think they're saying 35 mil at the moment, aren't they? But I can imagine that's going to go
That's going 50, 60, yeah. I'm telling you.
As soon as United register interest in anyone, they just put it up by about 15, 20 mil. It happens all the time. Aaron, is it worrying that Ten Hag has to go for players he's either coached or played against? Like Malacia, for example, he's obviously only played against him in the Eredivisie. I remember when he was actually at the game, he was watching him, and he was like a little clip of him on the sideline, and he was like, who's that? Yeah, who is that? Do you think it's worrying, though, that United don't have this kind of scouting system aligned with the type of talent that he wants to go and get?
It literally feels like they're making Ten Hag make a list of good players that he came up against in the Dutch league and saying, pick that one, pick that one. I don't know. It's not a signing that I'm excited for, to be honest. I think, though, I did hear that he got... did he get player of the year in the Dutch league in the season just been?
Well, I'm not sure if he got player of the year or not, but I know he put up some impressive stats.
I think he did. That's what I heard today. But, again, not really someone I'm excited for. Like, I don't know why we ain't looking at someone like Pedro Neto from Wolves. I mean, that would be another good signing. Like, even Podence, one of the two of them, they're not Neto could become a starter. Podence, I think, is a little bit older, but he's still better than what we've got, like we say. We're one injury away from Alanga or Jong or someone like that. It's like,
yeah.
they're not good enough.
Fuck Jong.
Fucking Jong,
He was
man.
terrible in that friendly.
Yeah.
They're not good enough.
Somebody said in the comments, go get Wolves by the throat and just take Neves away from them, because he's like.
You need to. Do you know what? This is the window where I don't mind if we overpaid for players because we're desperate, and this is the one where we needed to get this window right. Whatever the cost, we needed to get this one right. And again, it's about scrimping and saving, and we're going for Rabiot for 15 million, who's in a year time, 2 years time. We're not going to be able to sell him. And it's just the same roundabout with players. Yeah. Always.
It's going to be another... For me, I feel like Rabiot, I said this on the show, or the Insta yesterday, whatever it was. If it feels like a year down the line, 2 years down the line, he's going to be on high wages, he's going to kick up a fuss, and it's going to be another player we're struggling to sell. No one wants to buy. Wants to buy him now.
He's going out on loan, isn't he? In 2 years, he's going out on loan to some team. We're paying his wages. Guaranteed.
Same cycle. Yeah. Same cycle happens every single time. Sergej, do you want to throw us any thoughts on Cody Gakpo? I'm not sure if you've seen much of him, if you've watched him at all, but is that a signing that would excite you? Would you bring him in, or is there anyone else you've got your eye on at the minute?
I think right now, with Cody Gakpo, the thing is he's like at Ajax, Erik ten Hag had Steven Berghaus, and he was one of those players who could play as a number 10, as a winger, can also play as a false 9. So I think he's going with a similar profile with this player, because he can play in many positions when it comes to his attacking capabilities. He can play as a 10, he can actually play as a false 9, and can actually, function quite well off the wings as well. So I think right now the reason he's going for these players is that we haven't really made the signings that he initially wanted in this window itself. And so right now he is looking for players who can actually do multiple jobs in that squad, because if he doesn't go for these players, then there are going to be spots left. And right now I think he's going for the best possible, I would say, paper clips that he can to actually, get the squad together for this entire season. Because if he doesn't do that, then this season is going to be really, really, really hard. And I think with Cody Gakpo, we do get an exciting youngster who's still got loads of potential.
Oh my God. Sorry, I tried doing it. I tried keeping a straight face, but you know what I'm like. I can't do it. Was that the same person, or was that?
That was a different one.
It was different.
The new United signing. It was a new United signing.
You can blame the new United signing for me laughing. Apologies. Sorry. Go on. Continue.
Yeah, but yeah, I do get the idea behind it once again. And I think, he can be one of those players who can actually, take the spot from Rashford and feature for us in the future as a starter of the wing. But still, I would say, even though his price is being labelled as 30 to 35 million right now, I think it would easily...
Nick's gone completely. Oh, dear.
I think it
hasn't happened for so long. Give me a sec. Go on.
Shall I read some comments out, Sharayas? So you don't. Shall I read some comments out because Nick's gone completely. Couple of comments. Daniel Rice, don't think Savic is a replacement for McFred. Ugly Bear, that's a weird name. I just watched Rabiot. He looks okay. Not my first choice, but I'll support him. Interesting. Play Bay and Wan-Bissaka. I don't want Wan-Bissaka in this team. Fuck it, no, don't want him in the team. Bench Maguire and use Bay, Wan-Bissaka. Why is everybody supporting Wan-Bissaka all of a sudden? What's going on here? It's a disgrace.
Die hard fans, isn't it?
Lewis Jackson.
Is there something new coming out?
Apparently. Lewis Jackson, not a fan of all these players in the Dutch league. It's the Dutch league, for fuck's sake. Lewis, not a fan of the Dutch league. Yeah. Players like Gakpo, Sesko prefer to go to clubs like Dortmund, Leipzig, Ajax rather than going to popular clubs to stop their growth. And Dallo needs to go in the comments. If anybody's got any last questions or comments they want to do before we wrap this up, and we'll try and answer them before we go. We're on 300 and... What are we on? 56? Let's have a look.
Nice.
Let me just double check. 357. So thank you so much. So if 3 more people want to subscribe, get us to 360 before the end of the stream, that'd be great. There's like 45 people in the chat, so I'm sure some of you haven't subscribed. So if you haven't, please do. We appreciate it.
I'm not sure if you finished your point off on Gakpo or not, Shreyas. I had to go compose myself. Did you finish on Gakpo?
Just the only thing I had to say was the moment right now it is being labeled as a 35 million signing, but we still need to see how much the price gets cranked up, because even if we do get him right now, because the transfer window is pretty much, it's literally at the end, I think it could easily go up to 60 or 65, because we are desperate. We haven't really had that much luck in bringing players from the Eredivisie itself as well. We have been overpaying for players a lot in that league itself. So we're desperate. We're Manchester United. I mean, the new regime isn't really, doing wonders in there as well.
It's the same regime in it, really. It's no difference.
Yeah, it's not.
That's the only concern I would say I have.
It's not looking great, is it? I think because every club in Europe knows that we're desperate. As soon as we go in for a player, and I would like, how much do you want? It's like, probably 20 mil. And they're like, who's coming in from United? Yeah. I'd say 30, 35, see what they say, see what they get back. Like, every club's just going to treat it like that now, unfortunately. And we're going to get more and more desperate as the weeks go on. And I'm sure on this show and on the transfer show especially, there's going to be some absolute clangers in here when we're reporting stories and stuff, because I think it's just going to get worse and worse.
I mean, the bars are Marko Arnautovic. It's quite low at this point, so fucking hell.
Yeah.
But who did you say, Sam? Did you who was going to get linked with next? Braithwaite, was it?
Braithwaite, yeah. I'm calling it. I'm calling it now.
Oh god. Yeah. Sorry, Aaron. What was you going to say then?
I was trying to say, I wonder if Daniel Sturridge has found a club yet.
Oh fucking hell.
Daniel Sturridge. I would never put anything past United. I genuinely won't put anything past United.
Did you ever see the You ever see the video? It's like when Daniel Sturridge returns from injury. No, when he had that he was just injured all the time, and it's a little bird in a cage, and they release the bird, it flies out and just hits the window, just falls down. It's just like every time Daniel Sturridge returns from injury, just doof, done.
Yeah, he was terrible with injuries, wasn't he? Absolutely terrible. Look, I think that's everything covered, guys. I'm sure if anything breaks within the next few days, I'll go live for it myself. Other than that, we have a transfer show as well where we discuss these kind of things. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everyone who's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, and smash a like on the video. We appreciate all the support. Check us out on socials as well. Just type in Real Reds Talk. The TikTok we dropped this morning hit 100,000. So thank you very much for that. It's absolute madness, and this channel's just growing and growing. Much like Christian Eriksen, Aaron, you had an absolute wonderful debut, so really appreciate you coming on and joining us. Hope you've had fun as well. Sam, thank you for joining me, as always. Appreciate it.
Follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter, follow the TikTok, follow the Twitch, all at the bottom there. Please go subscribe to all those and follow those. We appreciate it so much. We're trying to grow every bit of the channel. So the more people join in, the more people subscribe, the better things we can do. You see how if you go back to our first couple of videos and then look at where we're at now, it's only going to get better. We're only going to get more stuff. Yeah. It's only going to get increased. So come along with us for the ride. Severe's in the chat. Great show. Thank you, Severe. Appreciate it. Massive part of the channel as well, Severe. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Unlike United, we're going like that rather than like that. So,
359. We're one away for 360. Somebody give us one. 360.
Before we go off, 360, please. Shreyas, thank you for coming on all the way from Bangkok. Do me a favour. The 2 guys that walk past, make sure you thank them for me as well.
Get them to subscribe. Get them to subscribe as well.
Maybe they can be the 360. Yeah. Who knows? Any final thoughts, guys, before we head off?
Fuck the Glazers. No? Glazers out.
Okay.
Yeah, I echo that. So.
Perfect. Right, we'll end it on that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.